Here with Jimmy Kennedy, who just yesterday qualified for the University World Team after winning at 60 kilos at the trials in Colorado Springs. You said your plan kind of going into the tournament was really focusing on attacking and scoring and getting early leads, and you were able to do that. So were you pretty pleased with your performance yesterday?
Yes and no. I mean, I got the lead fairly easily, but I didn't build on it, and that's another thing I want to start working on is not only getting the lead, but building it and making it a secure, comfortable lead where you don't have to worry about hand fighting to death for the last 20 seconds. So it just puts a little comfort zone in the wrestling plan I have for the matches.
And I guess your closest match was in the challenge tournament finals against Andrew Hochstrasser, and it was kind of like that you scored early push-outs, but then had to maintain that 1-0 lead. Are you comfortable? I know you want to build your lead, but are you comfortable with your defense that you don't think you're going to get scored on?
You know, it's hard in freestyle. There's a fine line between when you want to attack and when you want to start closing it off a little bit, and that's kind of what I have to start figuring out is, you know, if there's a little over a minute left, do I keep attacking or do I just start staying in better position? A lot of times if you get overly aggressive, you can get scored on there. So freestyle is a lot different in that aspect, and you just got to pick your attacks and know where to do them. So just kind of figuring out when to attack and when to hold on to that lead.
Okay, and then you swept Chris Dardanes in the championship series, and he sat out the day after winning University Nationals. So while he might have been rested, did you feel like you had some momentum going into that session?
Yeah, it had been a while since I competed, so it was the last time was at the senior trials. Those first 3 matches really kind of loosened me up, and I felt great in the finals, so it was good.
And you were one of the older guys in that field, one of the more experienced guys. Do you think that that's starting to help you out? Just the training freestyle for the last year exclusively, that's going to start kind of really paying off for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times when I was wrestling those guys out there, and I just felt a lot more comfortable in the freestyle type aspect of the match, and I think that's all due to the last year of training that I've put together here. So definitely, once I keep getting more years under my belt, my freestyle game's only going to get better. Well,
and Josh Shirella said, sometime, over the summer maybe, that it was really after his first year that he started to notice like a big jump in his competing. Do you think you're kind of right on the verge of that right now?
Yeah, I think winning the university trials was huge for me, and I wasn't really too decorated as a freestyle wrestler coming in, and so getting that under my belt and hopefully building on that'll help out with the mental aspect and translate into my training.
Well, and this is kind of your first big win. So what does this do for your confidence going forward?
It's huge. Just to get a chance to represent the USA in Finland, and I'm looking forward to going out there and competing against some of these foreigners and hopefully getting that gold. So.
Okay. How hard was it to train for this tournament? Because it's the summertime, and you're going on vacations, you're going to weddings, and you're working camps, and you're in town, you're out of town, your coaches are in town, out of town,
right.
Your training partners are in town, out of town. So how hard was it? Did you really have to be disciplined and kind of do it yourself a little bit?
Yeah, but surprisingly, it wasn't too hard to get motivated for this. Once I set myself and told myself I was going 32, and I was going to make the weight and do all the right things, and from there on out it was just following that plan and coming in, getting the workouts in, doing extra stuff, and that all kind of just kept building on itself, and it paid off in the end.
And I guess for your overall training, was it good to have, the trials was 4 months ago, was it good to have this tournament as opposed to some of these other senior guys who won't have something until October or November? Was it good to kind of break that break?
Yeah, I mean, you need something to be training for, and this whole summer, if I didn't have anything to train for, I wouldn't be getting much better and improving as much, and just every time you compete you get that much better, and I mean, especially for me, getting as many freestyle matches as I can is going to be big. So breaking up the summer, getting my weight down, competing, and then making the team, so now I get to compete again overseas, and it's always huge to whenever you can compete overseas to see some of them foreigners.
One of the guys who was in town most of the summer was Kellen Russell, and he's given you a lot of credit for kind of his growth and his success over the last year. Now that he's training freestyle with you full time, how much has he helped you?
It's been huge. You know, a lot of times we'd come in here in the morning and it would just be me and him working out, and Josh would be putting us through the practice. So without him, I wouldn't have been able to compete like I did out there. And you know, I think it's going to work out well, him and me as practice partners, and kind of build off each other's momentum and success.
Okay, and what's your plan for the next month or the next couple months in preparation for Worlds?
I'm going back home for a little bit, take some time off, and then get back to training, continue what I was doing before the trials, and hopefully that'll give some more successful results.
Okay, and your next competition, if you will, is this weekend with the golf outing?
Oh, right.
I know you've been practicing for that all summer long, but that's a big fundraiser for Michigan Wrestling, for the Cliff Keen Wrestling Club. So talk about your experience over the last year in your opportunity here, training full time, and kind of being a part of another team. Like the club is kind of like a team. How's that been for you?
Well, coming into this, I didn't even know that I was going to keep wrestling, and then once I did, just to see how much support and everything that Sean and Donnie and Joe and everyone put in place for me, it's been huge. This coming up in Finland is going to be my third time overseas, and before this year I'd never been across the border, so it's stuff like that that gets you into the freestyle scene and gets you the extra matches and competitions. And you know, had I not left Illinois, I don't know if I would have been faced with some of those moments or anything for that matter.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jimmy.